It's Sunday, March 16th. March 16th. We're almost done with this car. I will tell you, these are the throttle. These are the throttles. 5-volt wipe and ground. And it took me a little bit of time to identify which ones were which. So those are quick disconnects that were, but this one was not. And I don't know why I had cut it here. I guess because I figured I would be using it near those connectors, and then I would just put one on, so I did. Okay, so that's done. That has to be loomed though. Goes up and around and then to the accelerator pedal. I think the best way to go with these logic connectors is like up on here and up and around, and then maybe, so this one, maybe I'll extend the loom out, come up and around, and then in. I don't like this cross traffic. The high voltage line, I think this is what we're gonna have to do. It's not the best, but I mean, having a short point here, I guess is okay. I'd rather it's short here than somewhere else. So, like if you were T-boned or something. And then we have this problem of the water getting into the tubing, as I was talking about. But I think this is the best way to do it. If this is like this, I think that's right. It's the best way to go. Maybe I could go on the inside of that. I don't know. Probably not. I have to loop up and around. The other wires coming off, this is contactor control, so we need to run another wire. I think maybe we'll use that hole down there to run inside the car. I think I want to use it on this side. But maybe I'll go through the tunnel again just so that it's clear where all the wires are. There is the 12-volt line here, this white wire. So it might not be a bad idea to run it over here along with that loom, or just run it with the high voltage. But I don't want the high voltage to short to the contactor. I'd rather have the contactor be, especially if it were like severed here, then it would open the contactor, right? I'm always thinking about getting T-boned. You're pulling out into traffic and then you get hit here, passenger side. So maybe it does make sense to run it over here. We'll see. Yeah. Here's the wires here for the contactor. I did record a video earlier this morning that I got the charger working, and the other thing that I found too is that I had to turn on balancing. So if I have balancing on, it will start automatically balancing no matter what, whether I'm driving or charging. So that's great, because I was wondering why we were seeing some voltage deviation among the cells when it was charging. And then also, because I had not set the battery type, I had no output from the ground side here, and so the charger couldn't detect it was connected to the pack, so it wasn't outputting voltage. It's a shame that I can't charge the car from the truck. It's only a 400 watt inverter, but maybe I could set the charging current down to 2 amps, and then maybe I could, because it's just there. It almost kicks on, and then you see it. I even tried it with like just one extension cord, if it was like a voltage drop thing, but I can program that maybe to run at 2 amps instead of 3, because it really is putting some load on that generator, even when we run it like that. And if I could charge it from the truck, that would be even better. Yeah. So the accelerator pedal is there. I'm going to bolt that up, loom that wire. I ordered some more loom, running low on loom. This is the menu button, econo switch, and the gauge. So going through there. So these are the additional buttons. There's this guy here, which changes the gauge cluster display, and then that econo button. And that's the gauge there. Well, that's pretty much it. It's not a whole lot to show. Oh yeah, I did fill the cooling system with coolant, but it's leaking. Actually filled that container back up. Can't believe it. So I ordered some 1/4-inch tubing, fuel line, because it needs to withstand heat. Maybe I'll put it in. Maybe I'll just drive it leaking. Who the hell cares? It's leaking from the radiator, so it might as well just leak from every port. The nice thing about this coolant is that it can go on the ground. It says it's okay for incidental contact with humans, pets, or nature. It's kind of cute. I kind of like that idea of using that stuff. I don't know how it handles under heat, but it should be all right. Yeah. Resolver connector, not the best, but whatever. Yeah, so I've got these wires. I don't know what they're for, or they're just for stupid things like reverse, pedal interlock, stuff like that. Here's your high voltage sense wire, so this is going to be cut off. That goes to connect to the orange wire, and these are contactor power. So I'm kind of thinking, it's like, am I really going to put this system in a different car? But I think I should maintain flexibility right now, so I just wound the wires up. You can kind of see they're just in a spool under there for that switch and the gauge. The gauge length, obviously I wouldn't cut the gauge wire because that's already loomed factory. But like this one, it's like, yeah, I guess I'll just have some extra wire hanging around. And these, just like loom them up and just put them over here. But that one, I can safely cut that one more or less and just well, it would be nice to have a quick disconnect for the HV line, so I could just remove the inverter. But this connector here is the connector. So anyway, yeah, it's a shame. Basically just had a few things to wire up, maybe 4 hours worth of work more, so it's like could be burning the midnight oil and get it done. But next weekend is another weekend. Be the last weekend that I could keep the storage unit essentially without paying for another month. So wish me luck on that. I did take out an insurance policy today with Haggerty. That was pretty cool. I remember when I called them like 10 years ago, they were not interested in insuring an electric conversion, and now they write policies for modified vehicles. So they called it a retro resto. So the way they described it is you're putting a motor in that's consistent with the power that the vehicle had. Actually, it's very close. This electric motor is rated at 110 foot-pounds of torque, and that's what the max I think the car had when it was built was 120. So a little bit less, but you're getting full power at 0 RPM. So you can just step on it, and it would be the equivalent of just dropping the clutch at full throttle. So that's good. So I've got my insurance policy in place. That means I can basically, kick it on and take it around the parking lot here, and then maybe up and down the street. So it's cool, and I do realize that I've been working as an automotive technician all these years to understand theory of operation, concepts, best practices, and it's all to be able to do something like this. Wouldn't it be interesting to have this be my participation in the automotive sphere, doing electric conversions. So we'll see where that all leads. Obviously, I want to do music full time, but to maintain balance in life, some mechanic work would be kind of enjoyable. It can be enjoyable, but this has been a tough 3 months of working on the weekends and working full time, and juggling, other smaller responsibilities that can take half the day, and then it's a lot of valuable time gone. So we're gonna see what happens next weekend. It was nice to see the charger running, and it is cool to just know what the last logic connectors are to hook up, kind of get a game plan for that, and hopefully I can minimize the leaking from the cooling system, but we'll just have to see. That whole system may have to just be redesigned to get more flow or whatever. So